All right, I'm Beckham. This is my Poker Detox 30-day check-in. Um, how do you feel in session? I feel now like excited to play and excited to play from every position. And like I'm excited to keep playing and like getting in the volume even when I'm not winning. Whereas before I felt like it was only really worth playing when I was winning. Um, and how do you feel about studying? Like I was really excited to come into this, to get into the studying, and then I got sick and then I got sick again. Living with teenagers who go to public school really sucks. But that's a silly thing to be resentful for, you know, it's just variance. But yeah, so I was like, just like being focused enough to just study even basic concepts was it's really hard when you're sick. So, but like when I when I haven't been sick, it's been really exciting to like have something to study. And I do feel like my studying goes a lot farther now than it did before. Because like, you know, building those first heuristics onto, especially like when people talk about like, you know, why you want to be polar on the turn and stuff over years, I've just like not really been picking up those concepts. And now that I finally feel like I'm picking them up, I mean, studying has gotten a lot more rewarding for sure. How do you feel about organization? The word organization definitely elicits fear and anxiety in me, but and like going into this, I was like my big want was to become a more organized person, like through this camp, and like getting sick. I don't know. Even though I was sick, I feel really disappointed in myself for not becoming more organized and through this. Like there's been a lot of like, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna work on a schedule tomorrow. And it was only like a couple days ago was the first time I actually wrote a schedule and like stuck to it the next morning. Like woke up and looked at it and like. At least there was that one day, which is cool. So yeah, how do I feel about organization? Hopeful, desirous of I don't know if that's a word. Covetous of organization is how I feel. But you know, I'm trying to just be positive and know that I can just keep getting better. How do you feel about the regs in your pool? I mean, I mostly play on Ignition, and it's I try to not underestimate or overestimate anyone. The fish or the regs, but I feel like 10 NL has actually been harder than 100 NL. Like I've had to play at 10 NL because of the way that my bankroll's been and everything, but I think the regs are pretty good. Maybe I just suck, but I think the regs are. I think everyone's thinking really hard through their. On each street, I think people are being pretty thoughtful. So I don't want to say the regs suck. How do you feel when you face a big decision in a spot that you're unfamiliar with? I think that, you know, I'm still doing like an appropriate range analysis of like, what do I think their worst hands are, what are their best, you know, what could I, but I having the heuristics to work with has been like a huge game changer, especially on the turn when I'm thinking about like whether to barrel. Like I was just totally lost a lot and didn't even kind of realize how lost I was. But I mean, especially with against regs, I think against fish, my thinking is still pretty much the same. I'm just kind of like bet folding. I'm trying to get my value and not bluff a whole lot unless I think it's a good spot to bluff in. But because I was told like just bluff with no showdown value, I've just been doing that. Like I don't know whether to bluff or not. All right, I've been told to bluff, you know, and that feels great. Knowing what to do where I didn't know what to do before, it feels great. Even when it's like, oh, I get shown, you know, they bluff catch with king high, which has happened, where it's like, all right, I'm going to go 66% with this river bluff, and then I get shown, you know, like, just like a ridiculous bluff catcher. Like, it doesn't feel bad because it's like, well, my coach told me to do it, so it's whatever. Because I'm playing within my bankroll. It's not like a big deal to lose that $3 river bluff or whatever. So yeah, that feels awesome. How do you feel when you lose a big pot due to a big mistake? I mean, I'm definitely still being like really hard on myself. And I'm really hoping that like through the process of like taking poker seriously and being professional about my poker career will help me deal with my poker mistakes better and my life mistakes better. Like, that's a big motivator, not just to make money at poker. Do I want to have a better relationship with mistakes, but just to be like a better human being and like a better, dog owner. Like, when I'm down on myself for my mistakes, then like I'm not as like good to the people in my life and my family and my dogs and stuff. So I'm really hoping that like to be like the daily practice of having a better relationship with my own mistakes. In poker, I can also have that in my life. But I definitely don't feel like over the last 30 days, I've like I've crushed it at my ability to, like master my own emotions around mistakes. I'm definitely being too hard on myself still. But I really appreciate the mindset lessons to help with that and everything. How do you feel about where you currently are in your poker career? I just feel really, really lucky. Like, I think most people don't even know that poker is a game that can be beat. And, it's one of the, like, I feel lucky also to have had, like, the experience in my poker career to know that I can win. I think a lot of people just get so, like, they're on the bad side of variance, and even if they were really talented, like, they didn't even have the experience to know that they could be a for-profit player. So, and like, to have found this training camp and to have like been in a fortunate place in my life to be able to like engage with it, even though I got sick, I just feel really, really lucky. Like, that just feels like a lot of run good. And so I just want to like honor the luck of having these opportunities. How do you feel about the direction of your poker career? I mean, yeah, the same. I just feel really like I feel really like back to being too hard on myself. Like, I was hoping to have played more than twice as many hands this month, and I was hoping to have like moved up from 10 NL, and I was hoping to really, like crush it and didn't. So I feel I'm like disappointed in myself, but I'm trying to be just like, well, this is where I'm at, and hopefully I can really kick ass next month. And I feel also bad, like, I was really excited about the whole study group element, and I feel like I was like the worst member of my study group. Like, I got my homework in the latest most days, and I was kind of like the least like helpful with other people's submissions. And sometimes people would say stuff and I didn't even really like pick up what they were putting down because like I hadn't got my head around the lesson yet, and like I feel like I like took more from the group than I was able to give back. And so I'm really hoping that over the next month I can be more of like a positive, more helpful contribution to my group. But I'm really grateful for my study group because they're like really impressive, and they're kind of like inspirational. Like a lot of the guys in this camp, English isn't even their first language, so they're like reading the homework and having to like, so even knowing that and then being like, all right, yeah, I'm under the weather, but everyone's got their obstacles, and so yeah, that's the strength of the poker network. I feel like I'm really lucky to be in this camp and have this this network to be a part of, and I really want to take better advantage of it and actually like post the hands that I've marked for review, and like explain why and like engage more with the hands other people have posted, and just be a lot more helpful contributing member of the group is what I'm really hoping to do more in the next month. So yeah, and thanks a bunch.